Broadcasting live from the WGBB World Headquarters here in New York. This is the Big Fat Joey Show with your host, Big Fat Joey.
Hey, it's Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on radio. What's up?
Good morning. It's Sunday. We're winding it down. It's almost the end of summer.
I can't believe it. School starts in another, this week for some students. Some students started last week. Some students start in 2 weeks. So within the next 2 weeks, the schools will all be starting. Ladies and gentlemen, your traffic nightmare will begin.
Well, talking about traffic, going into Brooklyn yesterday, going to L&B Spumoni, which was definitely worth the traffic, but the traffic is horrible.
But we had a great time. L&B Spumoni, always good eats. You know, we brought home a couple of pies, a couple of heroes, some eats. Everyone was happy.
And the shrimp palm was delicious.
I think there's big shrimp on that shrimp palm.
It was so good. So that was yummy. The ice cream was yummy. It's always packed there, but they have like a good like flow. Like you order and it's done like quickly. It's impressive.
Yeah, they have the pizza thing down to a science. You don't wait more than about 10 seconds for either a Sicilian or a regular pie. They sell so many of them, they just have them on deck, and they're always hot and fresh, and it was just a good time. But you know what? Summer is almost up. We spent a lot of time in the Hamptons this past week, and we're going to be spending some time in the Hamptons. Either later today and coming up next week or next weekend, because things are starting to wrap up.
Yep, I'm ready. I'm ready to do it, but I'm ready for out east. After that trip, I'm ready for out east. Too much traffic.
Yeah, too much traffic, a lot of slow rolling. But the Hamptons was a great summer. Little by little, things getting a little bit back to normal. But right now, it looks like there's other variants that are slowing things down. But we'll be out there getting our coffee on, hanging out 75 Main, doing our thing, seeing what else is going on. But I just can't believe, we wait all winter, and here we are.
Well, wait, but this weather has been horrible, so I'm happy the fall is arriving.
Right? Another weekend where it rained. We can't string together more than 1 or 2 days of nice weather. And I'm not optimistic for the Labor Day weekend, I'm sure. One of those 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it's going to rain. It normally rains, just in our experience, we always find that Labor Day itself, there's always some showers, at least by the late afternoon. But, I think if we come away unscathed with no rain for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I would be shocked.
It's true. So we're going to head out. We're going to get some ice cream this weekend because Black Tap is leaving East Hampton.
Yeah, Black Tap. We found them over at what was the name of the place then?
I forgot. What is it?
Look it up. But
Let's
Black
see.
Tap out there on East Hampton, by the East Hampton Airport, they make these concoctions of ice cream sundaes that are, are a little pricey, $14, $15, $16, but they're definitely an ice cream sundae for 2, if not an ice cream sundae for 3, depending on how much of your sweets you like. So we're going to definitely get out there this weekend, because after this weekend, Black Tap is shutting down for the winter. I'm still waiting for this one over here.
It's only 3 more weeks left.
You find it yet over there?
Yes. Hold on.
Hold on. What am I holding on to?
Hold on.
I'm holding on to a bunch of stale air in this room.
Where is it?
Oh boy,
here we go. I can't see. I have no glasses.
No glasses on. I got Magoo over here.
The Clubhouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why we can't remember that. It's Clubhouse Fun Place.
Yes, the Clubhouse.
Were you hacking a coffee?
Yes, because I had soda this early morning and it went down the wrong pipe.
There's only one pipe when I was drinking soda.
But anyway, it's only 3 more weeks, so we have to go because there's so many like ice cream. I guess. What?
Concoctions.
Yes, that's the word. And I want to get some more.
Yeah, we had the strawberry shortcake. Was that the one we had last time?
Yes, and it's only for out east. It's not anywhere else.
No, and it's
not
only
the one in the city.
And it was good. And I'm a strawberry shortcake fan, so that's that's my
But they had one with like cotton candy.
Right? Then they had a chocolate one.
Maybe the chocolate.
I would say they had maybe 10 or 15 different sundaes. Like I said,
but they're huge.
A little pricey, $14, $15, but they're definitely for 2 and possibly for 3. I'm not a big sweets eater, So it's good, me sitting in P3, sitting in P3 like they're sweet.
And the place is decorated so cute. It's fun. You're outside. It's very chill. It's a very nice vibe.
Yeah, it's outside. And, go to the clubhouse. Clubhouse is an upscale, if you remember Dave and Buster's. They have some bowling in there.
Around, right?
Is Dave and Buster's still
I don't
around?
know.
I don't know.
Think so.
But they have bowling inside. They have, miniature golf outside. They do a lot of band things on the back lawn. It's just a fun place to be, and it tops it off with black tap there and getting your ice cream. So we'll get out there. Levain Bakery's right down the block from that. We'll get out a couple of cookies and what have you. But trying to enjoy the last vestiges of summer while it's still warm and decent.
So you have a really big lineup today.
Oh, I like to say I have a big shoe today.
Yes.
Big show. All right. Everyone, on today's show, we have a rock folk band, Good Job Honey, coming out of Oregon. We're going to be listening to their latest song, Lazy Lovin', off of the album, Why You So Sticky. All this music is out right now on your favorite streaming platform. Make sure to go out and get it and support all our indie artists. After that, we have on Cameron Hughes, the king of cheer. Cameron is, you go to a sports event, you see the mascot, or if you go to, if you went to Yankee Stadium back in the day, or Shea Stadium, you have people who go around to try to hype up the crowd, just regular fans who try to hype up the crowd. That's what Cameron has done. Years ago, he was at a game. We're talking, when I say years ago, we're talking 25 years ago. 25 years ago, he was at a game and he just was like, you know what? I need to get this crowd. He was, I think if I remember from the interview, I think it was at a hockey game. He goes, I need to get this crowd motivated, get things going. And, he wound up just jumping around, being a goof, just having fun, trying to get the crowd excited. And that turned him into becoming the premier king of cheer. He now works for multiple sports franchises, corporate America businesses, and a variety of different entertainment venues to be, a supplement to that mascot. He's not a mascot. He's not wearing a mascot's uniform or anything like that. He's just in regular clothes, just running through the stadium and trying to get, people energized and trying to get them into the game or into the sport or into whatever, he's promoting at the game. And, this all came to him by happenstance. And, as they say, sometimes life gets in the way, but for him, it got in the way in a good way. And with that, he decided to write a book called King of Cheer. This book is all about how he fell into this unique job opportunity. And you know what? He was gracious enough to speak with us. He's out of Canada, little Canadian friends to the north. And it's always great to speak with him. And he also went to school with the Prime Minister of Canada. They were in elementary school back in the day. And, that's his claim to fame, going to school with the Prime Minister of Canada, so Justin Trudeau. And, that's something unique. I said, you should hit him up. Maybe you can do something on the floor of Parliament. But it's a great, great interview. And finally, we have on today Anki Richards. Young girl out of South Africa, putting together some beautiful music with producer friend of mine, Dante Latanzi of Callium Production. She is out and about, a music label founder, just like they did Justin Bieber back in the day. Anki is out and about with her latest hit song, Tired. She writes, some moving, modern songs that are, and all of you listen to my show, culled from life experiences, just like Taylor Swift. And, she's taking the music industry by storm. So we'll be listening to her interview and latest song, Tired. So right now, up next, we're going to be speaking with Good Job, Honey. And then immediately after that, listening to their latest hit song, Lazy Lovin', off of their album, Why You So Sticky. All right, everyone, on the line today is the booty shaking, party making machine. Good Job, Honey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
We're doing so good. Thanks, Joey. Looking good. How are you?
I'm doing well. On the line with us today, we have Austin, Sean, and April. It's a pleasure to have you on. I'm super excited to speak with you. You've got some great things coming out at the end of this month and even better things coming out in midsummer.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.
No, thank you for being on. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, before we even get into your music-making prowess, you got to tell me the name of the band, Good Job, Honey. Where'd it come from?
Well, I was making some chili rellenos. And I just nailed it to the wall. And April said, "Oh man, good job, honey." And I said, "Wait a minute, that's a great name for a band." It's like we should start a band, and we should name it Good Job, Honey. And then we called Austin up. He was living in Hawaii. And we said, "Hey, we want to start a band. You want to move to the farm in Oregon and start a band?" And he said, "Sure, give me a couple weeks. I'll quit my job." And he flew over and we started a band.
Sure, just give me a couple of weeks. I'll fly over. It takes me longer than that to figure out what kind of coffee I want in the morning.
Well, you're much more sophisticated than I am.
Well, I love the name of the band, Good Job, Honey. Now, where do you find your music inspiration? You know, tell us a little bit about yourself, how it came to be, besides the fact that you dragged your brother in from Hawaii all the way to Oregon. But, you know, how did the band come to be, and where do you find your inspiration for the music that you make?
I know for me, a lot of the inspiration just comes from life experience and, observations about what happens in life. I know, like a lot of our songs, when we come up with them, you can notice like a lot of them are love songs, or at least about love. But kind of our process was pretty interesting. Like when we first started writing music, because I had written a couple of songs on my own in the prior years, and April had as well. Sean might have written one or two, who knows? I don't know. But really what happened is that when I moved over there in the fall of 2012, it gets pretty cold in the winter, and you kind of just hole up and you don't have really much to do. So Sean got the idea, well, we need to start writing more songs for an album. So he made a batch of special brownies, and then we cut them into dice-sized pieces. And April and I would have one or two, and Sean had a handful. And then I would start making up different riffs, whatever came to mind. We'd close our eyes, envision what that riff made us think about, and then, man, there's a song.
You make it sound so easy.
Well, it took a lot of honing in too on the right words. We'd sit around with a notepad and we'd talk about different lyrics, and as soon as we'd find something that worked, we knew that it would work because we'd all go, "Yeah, that's it," and we'd all put our hands up and be all excited about it. So it took a little bit of time, but we honed it in. It was good.
More pleasure, less pain.
Yes, that definitely makes life a lot easier. More pleasure, less pain. Now, you have a single coming out on April 20th, Lazy Lovin'. Now, I know we spoke a little earlier, and you were kind enough to ask me, how do we keep this PG, R, X, triple X, but you know what? When I saw the title Lazy Lovin', there's only one thing that came to my mind, and you guys probably know what that is. So, what is the meaning of Lazy Lovin'?
So I actually came up with the idea for this song when I was living on Maui, I had a friend that I was having relations with, and one of my good buddies from the mainland, he came up to visit, and we had a pretty interesting night, and he had a little too much of, the special sauce, and ended up getting us kicked out of this establishment. And then as we were sitting on the sidewalk, thinking about life and the choices that we made, this car pulls up into a gas station across the street and catches on fire. But luckily, the friend that I was with, he was a firefighter at the time, so he just turned on his firefighter brain and found the fire extinguisher, put out the fire from the car, got the people out, and then put it in neutral, and then him and I pushed it out of the way, and then, became heroes. The bartender let us back in the bar, yada, yada. Anyway, he starts talking to this girl who's crying at the bar, and then he asked me, oh, can we bring her and her friend back? And I'm like, oh, God, fine. Anyway, so we go back to my place the next morning. Such happens, and then, that's where that inspiration came in, because, she was like, I don't really like to put a lot of work into things, so you're going to have to put in all your energy for this Sunday morning of lazy activity.
Lazy lovin'.
Little lazy. Well, that is an interesting story on how, especially, first of all, you start off with, while I'm on Maui, it's not like you're on some hill or Blueberry Hill or something like that. You're on Maui, and this whole cataclysmic car fire, bar scenario, women happenings all around you. It's a very interesting combination of the universe at work.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know when you're going to get inspiration for a song.
You never know what events are going to spur on some lazy lovin'.
Amen, brother.
Now,
and everybody can relate to that, lazy lovin'. Everybody knows what that is, and everybody has experienced that at different times. It doesn't have to be this story like that. It can just be anywhere. And that's kind of a lot about what our songs are. We try to be relatable to everybody and something that everybody can understand.
Yeah, the human experience.
Now, so with that, when you put the band together, did you have a vision in mind before it all came together, or as you wrote the music, it kind of set you in the direction that the band was going to go into?
Well, I think it just kind of happened kind of naturally and organically. Sean and Austin are family, they're brothers, and Sean and I at the time, we were engaged to be married. So we didn't have a plan for how the band was going to form, but we just spoke about our life experience and tried to keep it light and interesting and relatable. And I think that's how it all came to be.
And I think that's as mentioned earlier, the secret sauce. You make music that people can relate to. And once again, if anyone who listens to my show on a regular basis, they all know what I'm about to say. If you can make your songs as relatable as T Swift has, then you all should do fairly well for yourselves. Even if you do 10% as well as T Swift has done, I'm sure you'd be ecstatic with that.
That's my goal. Be as much like T Swift as you can.
You know what? Surprisingly, that's my goal too.
My goal is I would just like to earn what she pays in taxes. I'm good with that.
There you go.
We're not after the money.
Yeah.
We just want the fame.
We're just trying to have fun.
We're just having fun.
We're good, Jim Honey. We have a good time.
Your album, Why You So Sticky? Now, I've got to ask, number one, when that's coming out, obviously, but number two, the title, it follows right along with Lazy Lovin'. Why You So Sticky? Is that before or after Lazy Lovin'? Because there's a big difference there.
Before, during, and after.
So that album name, we came up with that Sean and I were at like this music festival, I don't know, probably a decade ago down in Southern California. And I don't know why, but hanging from a tree, there was this sack full of honey and honeycomb, and it was just dripping out honey. And we walked past it a few times over the weekend. And one of the times that we walked past it, there was this kind of scantily clad woman sitting under it, just kind of like letting the honey drip all over her and just kind of like rubbing it all over her body.
I hope you have pictures of this
like,
somewhere.
Kind of like looked at her for a while and we were like, wow, that's amazing. And then we were thinking about kind of like what would happen for her later on in the night and what would happen to her when she got back to her tent. And we were like, oh, her boyfriend's going to say, girl, why you so sticky?
And she's going to have a hard time explaining that, especially at a music festival.
Yeah. And so, like, over the course of years and years, like, every time something kind of got weird, we're like, why you so sticky? And so it just kind of stuck. And that we were like, that's a perfect name for our first album. So we just went with it.
So now, tell us a little bit about the other songs on the upcoming album, Why You So Sticky. What are they about? What do they entail?
Well, the next single that's coming out is called Balls from the Back. And that's another kind of goofy song. It's a love song that April wrote. Maybe you should talk a little bit about that since you wrote it.
It was just one of those, another thing like Lazy Lovin', kind of something that everybody's seen, but nobody really talks about. Just kind of like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
I was in love. I was bending over looking for some pants.
And it's kind of also like a little, maybe like reverse objectification thing where, you know, I'm just kind of like, oh, damn, look at that, you know?
Balls from the back.
And then the third song we're going to release as a single before we release the full album is called Crazy Country. That was written by April's sister's ex-husband. And, you know, it's more of a serious song, but it has a good driving vibe to it. We do get serious on the album. There are some more somber songs, some more, you know, we were going to call the album Giggles and Drops because a lot of our shows, a lot of people are laughing, and then some songs, like a lot of people are crying. It's a good cry. It's a good cry.
Right.
It's emotional. So we do have an emotional album, but for the most part, it's really just all about life experience. And so you got to have the good, you got to have the bad.
It's all about the feels, you know, you got to have the feels.
And I think that back to that earlier question that you asked about like why and what direction we wanted the band to go in, I think that's one of the main reasons why we do this. One, I mean, obviously we love it, but we also want other people to enjoy themselves as well. And like Albie, the guy who wrote that song for us, just did the lyrics. He got inspired, and that was really cool that we had, you know, we're part of that, and he wrote that song with us in mind. So that was really cool to have that all come to fruition and happen.
Well, I think that's a big part of it too. You know, you're taking, as I mentioned earlier, from life experiences, you're taking from other people, and you're honing it into the album that is going to be coming out, because people, you know, they want to laugh, they want to cry, they want to have fun, and they want to have some retrospect into things that have happened to them, and knowing that they're not the only ones in the world that some of this crazy stuff has happened to.
Absolutely.
And those balls from the back can be pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, I could see it being that. Yeah, definitely. I could definitely see it being, you know, I can definitely see it being that way. And then how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Good Job, Honey?
So yeah, there's a couple of ways. You can go to our website, goodjobhoney.com, which has like all the information, all the links to our Facebook. And Facebook, we're on there too with just Good Job Honey. And then our Instagram handle is Good Job Honey Band. So we usually post on that. You'll find like, videos and songs that we'll play and any information about our upcoming tour that we're going to have here, hopefully in the late summer, and about the album.
Well, that sounds great. Austin, Sean, April Roberts of Good Job Honey, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. It's been nothing but a pleasure. I wish you all the success and luck in the world.
Right back at you, Joey.
Thank you so much.
Joey.
Thank-
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Been working all week, yeah, in a busy Saturday. Now I'm struggling in the worst kind of way. Now, baby, well, I know you're tired too. When you got that t-shirt on, girl, you know what I wanna do. Yeah, it ain't the best, but it ain't the worst. In the middle of loving, ooh, babe, I put my turkey in your oven. Now my back been aching, and my knees bruised too. And last night I was drinking down. Now I got the whiskey blues, so we been out morning, and the movie's almost over, and I've been staying out crazy, baby. Now I got more lazy sex. Oh, it ain't the best, but it ain't the worst. Lazy sex. Oh, baby, come and quench the thirst. We can rest. In the middle of the world. Lazy sex. Ooh, baby, I put my turkey in your I don't wanna get on no, or bark like a dog. Only got one wish, that's to lay you like a saltfish. Oh, we can move to the kitchen, yeah, for some working in the cooking. 'Cause we all know a little spooning leaves a fork in. Lazy sex, yeah, it ain't the best, but it ain't the worst. Lazy sex, yeah. Come and quench my love and thirst, and we can rest, yeah, in the middle of the loving. Lazy sex, yeah. Put your turkey in the oven, yeah. Put your turkey. Put your turkey in my oven, yeah. Just preheat my oven to like 175 degrees. I don't want it too fast, I want it slow. Lazy sex.
Sin, how was that?
Those indie artists, they're so amazing.
They definitely are. It's always great to get the indie artists on. Now, speaking of, another indie artist, in his own right, Cameron Hughes, King of Cheer. We're going to be listening to his interview and hearing how he basically got himself his own little niche job, and unfortunately with the pandemic, his little niche job, he at one point was the most unemployable person in the world because everything was closed. But for now, he's rocking and rolling, and he's got that great book out, King of Cheer. So everyone, here's my interview with Cameron Hughes. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line, crowd igniter, fan for hire, sports entertainer, Cameron Hughes. Cameron, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Ready for a big cheer with you. Let's go.
Whoop, whoop. Let's do this thing. I am super excited to have you on. I saw your spread over in the New York Post the other day, and I said, I need to speak to this guy. This guy is out and about, and I love how this job, who would have thunk it? A job like yours, a crowd igniter. Can you tell us, what is that? What do you do? What's going on with Cameron Hughes?
That's like the most fair question. Like, what is it? Well, I go to sporting events, and, you can't keep the insanity at a level 10 the whole game. So there's moments in the game where, the teams go to me, and I get up and I go crazy, and I provide a spark, and I do wild dancing, cheering, tossing out T-shirts, comedy, kind of like anything just to get the crowd going and entertain them, move them, shake them up, and over the years, I've gotten a little more creative, but it's been insane, Who would have thought, right? My guidance counselor's like, sorry, what are you doing now?
Yeah, you know what? And I've a million stories like that I've heard where people gone, they refer back to their old high school days, and guidance had them all picked wrong. And obviously, I don't think anyone could have picked this.
No, it's funny because I've actually, this is all kidding aside, I kept in touch with my guidance counselor, and he wrote me a letter once saying, about 5 years ago, saying that I was the guy at school who was fearless, but he didn't think it would lead to this, And I think that is, if I was to do a job description for what I do, I think you have to be fearless because A, you're putting yourself out there. B, not everyone's going to like you, so you got to have thick skin. And C, you're trying to move an audience, and if they're down by, 20 points or 3 goals or whatever it might be, you have to find a way to dig deep and let go to get them going, right? And it's not always easy.
So, no, how did you become the hype man who's getting paid to be a maniac and pump up the sports crowds?
Well, I was at a game in Ottawa, where I'm from, in Canada, an NHL hockey game one night, and it was super, super quiet. I got really upset. I swear on my life I was sober. And third period in the game, halfway through the third, I was like, I've got to do something. And I had this switch go off, so I'm like, okay, next song, I'm getting up. I'm doing something. And I got up, and my buddy's like, please don't. And I got up on my seat and started to dance and go crazy, and the crowd was looking at me perplexed. But then they got into it. They were like, okay, this is fun. Finally someone had the nerve to get we needed that. And then I kept doing it. The next whistle, the break, I went to the aisle. And I think it's the reason I've had this career is because I could have done it that one time, but I kept going. And this was so long ago, there weren't any big jumbotrons or fancy entertainment departments or fancy DJs and all that. So it was kind of like the perfect storm. And, 26 plus years later, I've toured the world. It's, every time I get hired by someone still, I'm like, really? You sure? So it's been pretty cool.
What is one of the more crazier things that ever happened to you?
Well, I think that one of the craziest things really is I was performing in New York at the U.S. Open, and they wanted to do something different for their fans, but they said no to me. They were like, there's no way we're going to bring you in. And I said, just give me one shot. Bring me in one night, and we'll see if it works.
That's a very stoic fan base over there.
Yeah. But they want to get going. My theory, man, is they all want to get going. They just need a push. So it's Thursday night, semifinals. Rafa was smoking the guy, and I got up, and the crowd loved it. So they brought me back year after year, and I had a few interactions with some of the players, including Novak Djokovic. And I think the craziest thing, really, in terms of did that just happen, was Novak being interviewed on center court after by Brad Gilbert. It's the first week of the Open, early rounds. and they talk about me pumping up the crowd, and Novak points to me in the stands, and he waves me down, and I jump over the railing. There's some very, very large security guards like, I don't think you should do that. And Novak's like, no, he's with me.
Nice.
And next thing I know, we're twirling T-shirts at center court live on ESPN. And everyone's like, did you plan that? I'm like, did you not watch the tape? There's no way I could have planned that. Right? So, I mean, that was like one of those things where you're like, is this really happening? And it was just amazing. I mean, people in Australia texting me going, did you just dance with Novak? I'm like, yeah. Pretty crazy.
People go to sporting events, and I truly feel that, you know, there is a certain amount of excitement they want to have as well. And I think, you know, you brought that to them doing that.
Yeah. I really believe, like, I've studied this for, like, you know, in the last 26 years, I've been in front of every type of crowd, from, you know, 2,000 people at a minor league baseball game in the middle of nowhere to, you know, 60,000 seat stadium at the LA Rams playoff game. And you realize, like, the crowd wants to be pushed. And I think you just got to do it in a way that's, like, I think it's so overused, but, like, real, authentic, whatever it is, where it's like, even though I know I'm paid, I still feel I bring a natural sense of energy and fun, that I'm a goofball and I'm one of the guys. And I think that's why it works. You know, I've never tried to be anyone that I'm not, you know, and I'm just there to make that experience a lot more fun.
Now, the book is called King of Cheer. I love that title. Obviously, you're a cheerleader. You're someone to get the fans excited. And you were telling me it's a compilation of short stories, right? Because, you know, as a guy, and I'm going to take a artistic liberty here. I'm going to do a little stretch. I'm going to venture to say most guys are like myself and probably like you. We more or less like short stories. You know, I'll read a book that's 10,000 pages, provided it's 10,000 short stories. If you tell me it's just one story, I'm like, I don't need 10,000 pages to tell me that the butler did it. Just tell me in the first 2 pages. I'm good to go after that. So what style is it written in? Is it written in a short story style?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like right now where you're having a chat. You're like, hey, how did you end up at, you know, center court at the U.S. Open? Or tell me about the time you went to Belfast, or what's the craziest thing that happened? And they're all like, you know, the shortest one is literally a paragraph. There's a collection of stories about all the crazy stuff that happened in minor league sports, and crazy as in, you know, fun and adventurous, and also like the not so good. And then, you know, I got a lot of pictures, and I got a lot of anecdotes from different people who have been part of my journey, from team executives to some athletes have contributed some stuff. And yeah, I mean, I want it to be like where you're on a plane and you read a few pages and you watch a movie and you come back, you don't feel like you missed anything, you know? And I read, you know, this might shock you, but I had a bit of ADD as a kid, and maybe even right now, which is crazy. No, I know, right? Is that weird? I
would have never thought that.
Nobody would thought that. And so I kind of wrote it for in a way, like you said, like, you know, you read a newspaper, you read a few stories, you put it down, you know, that's what I wanted it to be for people. Easy to read and fun to read. Well, and so far, so good, right?
Where can everyone get your book?
My website, CameronHughes.tv, or, you know, any of the big retailers online. And then, you know, one day I'll get to Winnebago and do a North American tour. But happy to personalize any books and send them to you, your cousin, your neighbor, anyone.
And, you know, I think everyone's going to love it, because I know, you know, a ton of people who watch sports, guys and girls, and we always look at the fans and you know, just get into the head of what you do, and that you've been able to make a career for, you know, 25 years now. I mean, that's a career. That's not a job. That's not a one-off. That's a career that you've had that want from these corporate businesses, sports teams, because, you know, they don't just shell out money, you know, maybe to the players they do, but unfortunately for the rest of the workers, I understand, you know, the stadium workers, you know, they do okay, but, you know, obviously they like what you're doing. And I was watching some of your videos, and, you know, there was this one video I was watching on your website. You were sitting in the chair. I think you had a pink shirt on, and the girl behind you is just like, she's sitting there going, my God, what's wrong with this guy? Looked like she's ready to call, you know, someone put a net over him, because you were shaking and gyrating in the chair like a crock pot that was about to blow its top. And she was like, what the...
Well, yeah, that was actually in front of 68,000 people. That video, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that's also part of it is like building the anticipation of like being a normal guy. You tease a bit, you see me going a little crazy, and then suddenly I jump up and they're like, "What?" I mean, the two times that I have been introduced in my 25 plus year career, the one time was because it was my 1000th game and it was set up to be, and the other time was an accident. And I'll tell you what, that accident killed the whole energy. It didn't work. You know, you just got to be spontaneous and connect with the fans.
Right, because no one knows you're a paid quote unquote actor. They just think you're just some rabid fan going wild. Got away from the wife and kids for a couple of hours, and like, he's letting loose.
I'll be right back, and then there you go. Right. Well, I do a lot of games in Vegas with the Golden Knights hockey team, which has become a phenomenon. And now I do intros with like the Blue Man Group, and like we get creative and we push it. Because I've done 50 games there, and the fans know me, so they're like, okay, what's he going to do now, right? They shoot him out of the cannon next game.
And you know what? You're kind of reading my mind. What's the craziest thing they've ever asked you to do? I mean, obviously we know your shtick. You know, you sit there, you run around, you get crazy. What what's something crazy that they said? You know, man, streak across the court. You know, you're a Canadian guy. You must be able to play hockey. You know, use your Johnson. You know what I mean, and try to get that puck in the goal. What are they asking?
I mean, a few times teams have asked me to slide across the ice and be shot across the ice, which I did I didn't do it with a slingshot. That wasn't that crazy, but the Chicago Bulls had me doing a dance contest at half court, and I was supposed to win it, and I lost it. I was like, fucking the fans aren't going to like me. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't believe it. And, you know, but we got to keep it PG too, right? I mean, it's, right. So it's, you never push it too far.
And, you know, keeping it PG is what it's all about, because all these stadiums, all these are teams, they've all realized we need to get away, and this is going over the past 20, 30 years, get away from the hardcore, not get away from it, but cater more towards family atmosphere, because you go to these games now, and my son, he's 15, we go a lot of Ranger games, Yankee games, and there's just tons, especially in hockey, you see a lot more children at the games, as opposed to when I was a kid, there was only a handful of us in the stadium. Most of the time, it was just adult men going to the game, and that's it. And you didn't see too many women, and you didn't see too many children.
No, and now, like, I mean, there's no greater thrill for me, of seeing an 8-year-old kid in his section, and I get the kid up, a boy or a girl, and they're shy, and then I put a T-shirt in their hand, and I get them up, and I take their seat, and I get them to do what I'm doing. And at first they're shy, but then the crowd sort of cheers them on. And I mean, you might not like me, but I think you'll like those moments. You know what I mean? Right. And that's some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. That's what it's about. It's about empowering other people, from the kids to the grannies to the couple that, that's on an awkward first date.
Now, what advice could you give to those? I'm not looking to take your job, but just to, a lot of kids and stuff, they hear my show and they're on my podcast. What kind of advice can you give? Because obviously you didn't set out to do this. This wasn't, like we said, this wasn't in the college catalog. So what advice can you give, kids getting out of school these days?
I think really, I looked at it because I put a book together, and I think it's like, build your foundation, because you never know what's going to happen, where you're going to go. So the stronger your foundation, and what I mean by that is, if you're interested in, theater, take as many acting courses, public speaking courses, like dive deep into the different things in that world. I wish I'd done more of that. I think the second one is put yourself out there. I mean, all these gigs that I've gotten and rooms that I've been able to get into, it's not always the standard call, pick up the phone and call and they're going to answer. You got to be creative. If you want to stand out in anything, or you want to go and do something that's a little different, you got to act that way too. And the other one is, the last thing, man, is you got to believe in yourself, because I'll believe in you if you do first, and I'll cheer you on and I'll support you, and your community will support you. And, you got a 15-year-old kid who maybe he loves gaming but he's never started it. And then he starts it and you realize, hey, my kid's got a passion for this. I got to support that. But until your son starts that, it's hard to do that. So that belief has to come from you first. And when it does, you cheer him on.
Well, I believe in you, because watching your videos, first of all, they're hilarious, and just sitting here.
Thanks, man.
They get me excited. Like, you know what? Now I want to watch some sports because, you know, after I watched your videos, I went back. I'm a big hockey and Yankee fan and Ranger fan, and I watched it, you know, a little bit. I was like, oh, this really getting my blood flowing because, like I said, it's been, you know, just about a year now that we haven't really had any sports, and the news it's the news. It's depressing for a reason. It's the news because that sells, and it just made me excited to see you. And, you know, at a time in our lives a year ago when things were more carefree, more happy, and people had smiles on their face. People got together, people eating those $18 hot dogs, those $20 beers, and just having a great time in the stadiums.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for it either. I think I really believe this. I've been saying this it's part of what I do, right? Engaging people. I think that level of engagement, just making people have fun again, right? Just fun. You know, I want to personally call every sports team in North America and say, just make sure they have fun. Just that's it. That's why we're going, you know? So I can't wait, man. I can't wait for it. It'll be great.
I can't wait either. So, Cameron Hughes, one more time, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with you? And more importantly, pick up your book, King of Cheer.
Yeah, my website, CameronHughes.tv. I can sign one for you, personalize it, and get it to you. Or you can go on any of the big retailers, Amazon, etc. And I'm at Cameron Cheers on Twitter and Instagram, and say hi if I've seen you at a game, or if you want to see me at a game, I'll throw you a T-shirt. Well,
that sounds great. Well, Cameron Hughes, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. It's been nothing
you've got me all fired up. I want to go to a game now, like right now. Let's go.
All right, I got a little Queen playing right now, a little Freddie Mercury.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go to the games. Well, Cameron Hughes, crowd igniter, book author, king of cheer. Thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success and better handling on those stairs, and we shall speak soon.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Bye-bye. See you, Sin, right? He went to high school guidance counselor, you know, who would ever thought that he would be doing what he does?
Everyone has a hidden talent.
Everyone has a hidden talent. Once again, you know, it's not in the handbook when they send you out of high school, but, you know, everyone, Cameron Hughes, making people laugh, getting people excited, getting people all jacked up to watch a game and be part of it. So great speaking with Cameron. Check out his book, King of Cheer, on Amazon. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going out today listening to Anki Richards and her latest hit song, Tired. Remember, support all our fellow artists. You can get all our artists' music today on your favorite streaming platform, be it Spotify or what have you. And also, like I said, Cameron Hughes' book, King of Cheer, on Amazon. All right, everyone. Tick tock, tick tock. It's the last moments of the Sunday show. You know what? We're going to go out in the Hamptons today, try to enjoy every last minute of it. But remember, this is Big Fat Joey. Big Fat Joey Show here with Sin. Biggest thing on radio. Reminding everyone to make every sandwich count. Peace. All right, everyone. Let's welcome to the line, all the way from South Africa, singer, songwriter, Anki Richards. Anki, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Hey, I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being on. I'm super duper excited. A friend of ours who's also one of your producers, Dante Lantanzi from Callium Productions, put us together. I'm super excited that he did that because I'm loving your music. Thank you, Dante. Can you tell us?
Thank you so much.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, who you are, where you're from, how you got involved in this crazy world called music.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Anki Richards. I'm 19 years old, and I've been doing music since I was little. I've always had a passion for it. I used to walk around my room with a hairbrush, you know, all the little girl with a dream thing. And I started uploading some covers on Instagram a few years ago, and a record label found them 2 years ago and offered me a song to do with them. And I did that song, and they offered me a contract to do a few more songs, and I did those songs. And Yeah, and Dante found me, and he's now my manager, which I'm very excited about. He's already hooked me up with some amazing opportunities like this one. So yeah.
Dante's a great guy. You know what? I've known him now a couple of years. He's a straight shooter. He says what he says. He does what he says he's going to do. And really, most importantly, especially when it comes to the money aspect of it, he is honest and straight laced. What he tells you is what it is. If you're going to get XYZ at the end of this record, or however you have it set up, that's what you're getting. There's no hidden fees. It's not like buying a car. Well, the car's only $20,000, but then all the extra fees, it's $42,000 now. Like, whoa, wait, that's double the price of the vehicle. No, he's a great guy, and he's helped me.
That's great to hear from someone else, because it's what I've experienced as well. Yeah,
and he's given me, I use him for some technical advice. He's very savvy. He's got a beautiful studio here in Long Island, and I use him for some tech advice. I know what I know, but he knows a lot more than I do when it comes to all the gadgetry. And when I'm trying to get something done, or it's just not working out the way I thought it should work out, the way it should sound, he's always there for me to give me a bit of advice and set me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
And it's
I've never been to New York, but when I do go, I really want to go meet him and go to his studio and work with him in person for a bit.
Yes, no, and he's near the beaches. So if you're out here in the summertime, it's from where his studios are. He's a hop, skip, and jump to the beaches in Long Beach, New York. So it's a beautiful area, and make sure you come out here in the summertime.
That sounds amazing.
But no, he runs a great ship over there, Callium Productions. So everyone, try to give him a follow on Instagram. But so you're 19 years old. You're involved in singing just like everyone else. You said you're running around the house with a hairbrush. I used to run around the house when I was younger with hair, but that's a whole nother story. Where do you get your inspirations to write the music that you write?
Well, so far, all the music that I've released have been either inspired by a very personal situation to me, or a very personal situation to one of my friends or a family member. So my writing is very honest and authentic, but I've dabbled into writing more about like general experiences, general life situations. Maybe I get inspiration from like a movie or a book or a friend or a TikTok. I've been trying to like increase my writing skills where I can really write a good song without having to have experienced those emotions. So that's something I'm looking into doing more.
Well, you know what? You said a record label found you on YouTube. Very obviously reminiscent of Justin Bieber, and you're also being compared now to Billie Eilish. So you know what? I see big things for you. You were found like Justin Bieber offline, online on YouTube, and people comparing you to Billie Eilish. How does that make you feel when people put that together?
Well, I'm a huge fan of both Justin Bieber and Billie Eilish, so hearing me being compared to those people is surreal, honestly. I've heard a lot of people say that I sound like Billie Eilish. My voice sounds like her. But I don't want people to think that I'm trying to be like her, because people know that I'm a big fan of her. So I don't want to be seen as a copycat, but I am honored to be compared to her.
Listen, you're your own style, and if you sound a little bit like her, what have you, more power to you. But no, definitely your music is a one of a kind. Now, speaking of your music,
thank you.
You have your latest hit song, "Tired." Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when I was writing "Tired," I never thought it would be my most popular song. I actually released it about a year and a half ago now, so it's not my most recently released song, but it still is the most popular one. And honestly, that was just about a breakup. I was a teenage girl going through normal teenage girl emotions, going through a breakup, and I was trying to redempt myself. And the song "Tired" is a very sad song, but at the same time, there is a little bit of redemption where this song is like a symbol of healing to me. So it kind of shows my healing process.
Well, You know what? And my audience, I already see people rolling their eyes. I mention this all the time. Once again, Taylor Swift. She's made a small fortune, a very large small fortune, of writing about breakups and writing about personal experiences. And listen, if you can be only 10% as successful as she's been, I'm sure you'll do well.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I've seen all these artists become successful by just writing about their own personal experiences. And it's so beautiful to me that, like, just being a normal person with normal human emotions can bring you such success and happiness.
Well, I think the big part of it is everyone can, or most people can relate to it. Everyone's had a breakup. Everyone's had, a friend, a family member pass away or something like that. So if you're writing from the heart and you're writing about experiences that happened to you, your experiences are no different from anyone else's, except that the names are different and the people and places are different. But a breakup is a breakup.
Exactly,
yeah, a death of a friend or a family member is a death, but everyone can relate to that. Now, since Tired is your most downloaded song, and if I'm reading correct, you have over 11 million downloads. Is that correct?
It's over 11 million streams.
Streams.
I'm not sure about downloads. Yeah.
Yeah, streams. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's impressive all on its own.
Thank you.
Now, what else do you have going on? What else can we look forward to from you in the future?
Definitely the thing I'm focusing on most right now is my upcoming album. Well, I don't want to say album because it could be an EP, but I am pushing for an album. I want to write as much music as possible, and we're on a very good track. We finished 4 songs already for the album, and we only started about a month ago. So, yeah, you could be looking forward to that very soon.
That's great. You know what? And 4 songs in about a month. All right, so you're cranking away. When you get into that groove, you get into that groove.
Yeah. And I've been very inspired by numerous things. So the album is going to be very versatile, there's going to be lots of different topics, not just the average sad love song.
Okay. All right. Now, Anka, how can my audience find, follow, keep up with, and get all your music from Anka Richards?
So I am most active on Instagram. My handle is at ankarichards.official. I'm also starting to post on TikTok every now and then. I want to become more active on there, so the same handle on there. And then you can go find me on Spotify, Apple Music, or any other streaming platform that you might use, just by Anka Richards.
Well, that sounds great. Anka Richards, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. It's been nothing but a pleasure. I wish you luck and all the success in the world.
Thank you so much. I love talking to you.
Same here. Have yourself a great day. We'll speak soon.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, tired of loving you, I'm done. You never wanted me, we're just tired of being lonely. Hadn't felt love in a while, so you convinced yourself I was everything you would need, everything you'd want. Guess you fooled me a little better than you did yourself. I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, tired of loving you, I'm done. I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, tired of loving you, I'm done. Tired of all my love was a nuisance. I convinced myself I was not in love all along. It was so obvious. You were never mine, not by heart. You just forced your mind. Guess I'm moving on now. It hurts, but I'll be alright. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Tired of loving you. I'm done. I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, tired of loving you, I'm done. Tired of trying to figure out why you couldn't find love in me when I found love in you.
trying to dissect myself, trying to find what's wrong with me, when I know what's wrong is you. Always wanted you, now I'm done, I'm so done. Never wanted to leave, but now I'm so tired. I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, tired of loving you, I'm done. Always wanted to keep believing you're mine. Never wanted to give it up, but now I'm done. I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, tired of loving you, I'm done.